So what do you need and what do you not need in order to create your online program? So the first thing that you need is a power sentence. A power sentence is that one sentence that defines what your program is. Now, there's a lot of confusion because I get a lot of instructors who tell me, oh, well, I tried Zoom classes and I didn't like it, so I don't want to do a program. Well, Zoom classes are not the same as a program. Or I get a lot of instructors who say, yes, I want to do a program. I'm trying to get Zoom classes, out there. Well, those are still Zoom classes. So Zoom classes or virtual classes are not the same as an online program. Classes, whether they're in person or online, whether it's Zumba, yoga, La Mills, whether it's indoors or outdoors, whether it's paid by a drop-in, a punch card, or a membership, whether it's at a gym or studio, right? Wherever it is that you're teaching a class, whether it's 30 minutes or 90 minutes, whether it's a master class or a tiny class, all of those are still classes, which means they're a workout, which means they're a low ticket item, something that's going to be below $50, okay? Very challenging to make $1,000 or an extra $1,000 every month with classes, which is why we turn to programs. Programs are going to be different than your classes. Program is going to be something that follows the rule of one. It has one title, that's kind of easy, okay? It has one goal. This program is not to just get fit. It has one specific goal and people enroll to your program because they want that goal. It's for one target audience, one group of people. It's just for busy moms, or it's just for women over 40, or it's just for active seniors over 55, or it's just for moms, or just for dads, right? Or just for all the single ladies, right? It's for a group of people only, okay? One target audience, one goal, one time frame, which means it has a stop and an end. It's a 30-day something, a 21-day something, a 6-week something, a 12-week something. It has a start and an end versus your classes that go online for forever, right? Which is great. It's a great way to stay active, but it's not going to have the same value or the same price tag as an online program, okay? An online program also, you need to define how you are different and how your program is different and unique and differentiates from everybody else's program and from classes to justify that premium price. Plus, you also need to say in that sentence, what is the one thing that it's going to help them do, right? What is the why behind why they want that goal? So all of that comes together in that power sentence following the rule of one. So that's the first thing that you need. If you don't now have that, then it doesn't matter how you're recording it. It doesn't matter how many workouts. It really doesn't matter because you don't have a direction. So if you need help figuring out what your rule of one is, I do have I think it's like a $7, $17 something that's going to help you figure out that one sentence. I'll tag it someplace in here. If you don't have it yet, go ahead and snag it because that's step one. What direction, what is your program going to be about? Okay, that sentence is also the sentence that's going to help you create curiosity about, would you like to know more about my program? And then your people say like, oh, interesting. Yes, let me know more. And then ultimately enroll to your program. So snag it. I'm going to put it down below. So that's the first thing that you need and the most important thing that you need. The second thing that you need when it comes to, okay, now you have a program and you sold it and you have clients, you know how to do that. That's a whole different subject. And you're like, I'm going to deliver my program. I don't know what my program, how am I going to get my program to your people? You just need to record it, upload it, and then deliver it, okay? And this is actually the fun part. This is the fun and easy part. So this is the part that's kind of holding you up and you're like, I have all these ideas. I want to, but I just don't know the logistics of how to get it to people. Then this is great because we're going to talk about that. Okay. So you don't need a website, you don't need fancy cameras, you don't need, an app or anything like that, and you don't need expensive software. If you have them, great. I'll kind of show you where those goes or how you can use them, but you don't need them. If you don't have them, you don't need to get them. We're going to do it the scrappy way. We're going to use the tools that you already have. What you don't have are the skills. Right? So we're going to invest time and energy and income in the skills, and we're going to use free tools to get it out there. Because the most important thing is to get it done and get you paid. Yes, get it done and get you paid. So we're going to get it done using the skills that I'm going to teach you, using the tools that you already have so that there's no buts. It's but no. You have all the things, go out there and do it so that you can get paid. You also have one rule. You may or may not want to follow this rule. This is a rule that I have for my clients. I do have a mentorship program called the Fitness Boss program. and instructors going through that program, I enforce this rule very strictly. And that is, you are not allowed to build your program until you have a paying client. And this is because so often instructors, we underprice ourselves, right? Because we just want to help, right? We want to help people. And when somebody's like, I can't do $5 drop in, we're like, okay, fine, just come in. Let's call it. And we're just generous, right? We want to help people. So we often underprice ourselves, and we very often work for free as well. Okay, raise your hand if you ever done a free class or multiple free classes, or done it's like we just do a lot of free stuff because we love what we do. But I do believe that you don't have to choose between doing what you love or getting paid what you're worth. You can have both. It does take a switch, like a mindset shift. And part of that shift starts with this. Right? You don't build something until somebody wants it. And it's not enough for people to say, yes, I want it. How often have you asked or had a conversation with somebody and they're like, I would love to come to your class. And you're like, okay, great. Wednesdays at 8 or Wednesdays at 7. And they're like, okay, yes. And they say yes, and they're interested, and then they never show up. Lots of those, right? So interest, right? Having something that people want does not mean that they said that they want it. The only way that you're going to prove that this is something that people want is if they paid for it. Okay. Like you right now, you paid for this. Okay. This shows me that you're serious. You just saying, oh, I would like to know what you did, what tech you use for your programs. That's you just being curious. I'm not taking you seriously. Once you pay for it, now I take you seriously. So I want you to start to establish yourself with the same type of respect and integrity, right? And not work for free. Stop working for free. So the way that we do that is that in the way that I train the instructors in my mentorship program is that I teach them how to pre-sell their program. So that way, the hard part is selling the program. The hard part is not creating the program. The hard part is selling the program. So I teach them how to get their first client. And once they have their first client and there's money in the bank, now they're allowed, almost as a reward, to build a program that they're so excited about. Okay. And it's such a different vibe, because when you start building something and you don't know if people are going to want it, or you spend 3 months creating all the videos, uploading the things, right, and doing all the stuff, and then you tell people about it and then nobody bought. I've been there. My first program that I did not do this strategy of doing it the other way around and pre-selling my stuff. I did it the normal way, which is create your program. I spent 6 months, right, figuring out what my program is going to be, figuring out the modules, recording all the stuff, getting all the tech, uploading all the stuff, making sure everything looked pretty, right, with the things that I had. And then I went out into the world and I was like, okay, I have this. Who's interested? No. Who wants to buy? No. And I cut my prices in half. And not even at $50 would anybody buy. Okay. It was just insane. So I don't recommend that strategy, which is why I teach the other way around. We pre-sell your stuff, right? And now when you have at least one paying client, you're allowed to create your program, because now you're not working for free, right? You got paid to create your own program, which is pretty cool. Okay. Now you don't have to follow that rule. I'm just putting it out there. That's the way I roll. That's the way I teach others how to roll. Okay. So let's move on to the next one, like actually learn how to record, how to upload, and how to deliver your program. See you on the next one.